All right, g'day. What are we? Saturday, September 20. College football Saturday. I know we've got some games starting very shortly. I'll try and hit those first. Review these charts, some really good volume on some of these games. So I'll try to go through as many as possible, if not all of them. Also be around later with Vegas horse pools on the circuit preview. I mean, our two bets this year: Philly winner, Browns money line week 1. Yeah, should have been a winner. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. All right, let's fire away. North Texas Army has really good volume here. Like, this is one of the bigger bet games of the day. Looking at the master, so got 54% of the money on Army, 65% of the master money on Army. It's spread across multiple numbers. Looking at +3, a significant amount, +2.5, +2, and even a bit of +1.5. On the flip side, we've got strong money at -2.5, -2, -1, and then some early numbers in the week, +1.5, +1, and that game's flipped the other way. But really good volume on this, really good numbers. So it's a solid number right there at that 2.5. Total is pretty well balanced. Money line's about 75% on North Texas. So as long as it's not a North Texas by 1 or 2. Hang on, I might dive in here. So on the money line, we're looking at that percentage on North Texas, but I'm looking at 92% of the master monies on the money line for Army. I'm looking at +12, +15, +16, +17, +20. Now it's +29. All right, I'll stay out of that one for now, but Army money line seems to have shown up, but the spread is significantly more volume. TCU SMU, we're looking at 78% on TCU, 88% of the master money is TCU. Let me just see what numbers. Bulk of it is at 6, 6.5. There was some at 5, buying it up a bit, but 6, 6.5 there. The 7 seems fairly solid. There is a few 6.5s around. Really good volume on the total. 53% on the over, and we've got 81% of the master money on the under. 2 games in and diving into the charts so deep, because we're looking at over 62, 62.5, 63.5, which looks like it's going up and down all over the place, because we're looking at under 64.5, under 64, under 63.5, and all of that happened both early in the week and just today. So this total's been all over the place. Actually, let me go even deeper. Look at the line history. All right, so open 64, went quickly to 63.5, back to 64.5, 65, 64 by Wednesday, and then 63.5, 62.5, 63.5, 62, 62.5, back up to 64, 63.5. So when I dive into these other numbers, obviously playing some alternates, playing anywhere between 15 and 20 for the 62, bit at 62.5, and the 64, 64.5, 63 has been pretty solid and around all week. So let me just hit these other 9 a.m. games. UNLV, Miami, Ohio, really good volume, well balanced on the total as well. You just see what kind of variance here. Strong money at +3, +2.5, +2, +1.5. And then on the flip side, starting to see some smart money coming back at the -1.5. But there was plenty on the other side to kind of keep it balanced and keep it at that number right now. Bowling Green, Louisville. Well balanced, 61% on Bowling Green on the master money, Total is 61% on the under and 68% of the master money on the under. We have some decent bets at the money line, so come on, Bowling Green. Clemson, Syracuse. We're looking at 71% of the money on Clemson, 58% of the master money on Clemson. So this is pretty strong two-way action. We've got plus 17, plus 17.5, plus 18.5 on an alternate line. But we've got really strong at the minus 17, which has kind of got the bulk of that, and a bit at 16.5 that happened yesterday. So definitely looking for Syracuse to cover there. And it'd be an enormous result if they could win straight up. Total super well balanced there on the money overall. 67% of the master money's on the under. And that's under 53.5, 54.5, 55, 55.5. That's all happened yesterday, a little bit this morning. Maryland, Wisconsin, another well bet game, well balanced. However, 76% of the master money is on Wisconsin. Bulk of that at 9, 9.5, 10. It was a little bit coming back at plus 11, plus 10.5. Decent players as well come back the other way, but significantly the money's on Wisconsin there. More at the 9, 9.5, which looks like it's pretty solid at 10.5, maybe going to 11 right now. 0 on the total. Texas Tech, Utah. Holy shit, there's a lot of money on this game. Like 61, sorry, just had a message coming in, checking the information. 61% Texas Tech. And we're looking at 84% of the master money Texas Tech. This is a big bet game, like both sides. We're looking at the master money plus 3.5, a bit at -3, a bit at -3.5, but +3, +3.5. There was some +4, +4.5. This is obviously where it opened up, and that got taken pretty quickly. But a lot of money on Texas Tech, and then even the game collectively is getting good action. But Masters all over Texas Tech here. And the total's got really good volume, 54% on the over, 58% on the under. But this is a really well bet game. What else we got? Got a few more. Arkansas, Memphis. A lot of money on this game, 65% Arkansas. We're looking at 87% of the master money's Arkansas. This is all at 6.5, shit ton of it at 7, and a bit at 7.5. Looks like an alternate bet early on in the week. And then plus 7.5's gotten a little bit on the other way. But yeah, Arkansas, they're all over Arkansas. We're definitely going to need Memphis there. Home team, touchdown, underdog. We'll run with that. All right, so I think that's all the early stuff. Just run through the rest of them. Lafayette, Eastern Michigan, not worth noting. Georgia Tech got decent money, looking at 71% on Georgia Tech, 53% of the master money on Georgia Tech. Totals like 57% over, and well balanced on the master. North Carolina, Central Florida, you're looking at 52% on Central Florida. However, 68% of the master money, Central Florida. Nothing on the total worth noting. We did that one. BYU, East Carolina. Again, good volume here. 53% on BYU. However, we're looking at 75% of the master money is BYU. We just let you know what numbers. Generally, that is at the bulk of it 6.5. A little bit at 5.5, and an alternative paying a little bit more. But it depends on what you're looking for. This is strong master info. So if you're sort of following that stuff, then BYU still 6.5 around. That's been taken. That's where you jump into. There's the bookie and the house in this one, needing East Carolina. So always depends on what you're using this information for. Sometimes I look at it and I think, Jesus, I've just got to follow the sharp money, know where they're on, know what the reason is, and then see what happens live. But as the house, like this one, Miami, Florida, big bet game, and we're looking at 76% of the money on Miami, Florida, sorry, and looking at 77% of the master money here. So, even if I wanted to get on this one, I can't. The house is definitely going to need Miami, Florida. +8, +9.5, bit of +10.5, 10. Big chunk at -7. So as long as they don't win by 7 and they just blow them out. Whoa. All right, I fucked this up. We're going to need Florida. Those numbers are on Miami, Florida. So I need Florida significantly. But all the strong money, whatnot, is Miami, Florida. And the money line has significant money on it. So let's go Florida. Did Bowling Green. Illinois, Indiana is good volume, well balanced, but we're looking at 90% of the master money on Indiana. Generally numbers not available anymore. There was a 4.5 early in the week, some 6, some 6.5. There's even some decent money on the other side at the 5.5 and 6. So, it's well balanced. It's fairly well balanced on the overall, but the masters are all over Indiana. So, Indiana, if you can pick up some 6.5, maybe some 6, but they're on a lower number than that. NC Duke, well balanced, good money. Total, same, okay money, well balanced, whatnot. Money line definitely on the Duke side right now. Florida State, Kent State. This one's interesting. It's saying that 61% of the money Florida State, 75% of the master money Kent State. I will say this: when I've been looking at these things, I'm a lot more confident when the number's closer to pick 'em. A bit like the the Eagles last week. When you get up around these 40s, I've sent out a few that have been in the 30s and things like that. Just doesn't seem to hold up as well as those close games. So we're looking at 45.5, 46, where the bulk of this money is, and then coming back the other way a little bit is 43 and 43.5. Toledo, West Michigan, well balanced, not a lot of volume. Troy, Buffalo, looking at 62% Troy, 54% of the master money is Troy. Used Maryland earlier. Coastal Carolina, South Alabama is just nothing. UAB, Tennessee, 56% UAB, 67% of the master money is Tennessee. They're on at 37, 37.5, 38, 38.5, 39. Big chunk buyback at 30 plus 39. But it's heading the other way. UTSA, Colorado State, not a lot of volume. Actually, let me have a look at this one, because this one, the master volume is more than 85% of the whole game volume. And we're looking where there was big chunks a few days ago at -4.5. And then when it got to 5.5, it quickly got taken, and so did the 5. And there was a decent bet at +4 earlier in the week that it's past that. So -4.5, some sharp money, went to 5.5. Quickly came back the other way. So 4.5, 5 looks like where the number should be. Wyoming, Colorado, it's like 64% Wyoming, but 87% of the master money's on Wyoming. And this is at, okay, 14.5, 14.5, 14, 13.5, 13, 12.5. And a little bit of buyback on the other side at the 12.5. But yeah, numbers that don't exist anymore is where this was taken. Oregon State, well balanced. 88% of the master money's on Oregon State. 78% of the money's over. It's 54% of the master money's under. Auburn, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's holding like 78% and 99% of the master money. This is where this is at. At 6.5, 6.5, and strong 6.5s. Surprised that hasn't. Where is that? I guess it's going 6.5 -20. But yeah, 6.5, strong money there in Oklahoma. Helene, Mississippi is 67% Mississippi, 84% of the master money is Mississippi. Not big volume game. West Virginia, Kansas, super well balanced. 61% of the master money is West Virginia. Good volume. Got +13, +13.5, and a bit at -12.5 on Kansas. But the West Virginia is at, there is 14.5 where an alternate line was taken. Where the hell is this game going? We're at 12.5 now. So 14.5, the alternate is probably still around. 13.5, a bit of an alternate strike. So yeah, this right now it's a balanced game. Taking that +12.5 West Virginia doesn't seem like a bad thing, but it's not enough for me to jump in. Baylor, 81% and 97% of the master money. Where are we looking at? -1, -1.5, -2 is where it all sits. So I guess at the 2, it's still there. Scroll down here, get these games up. Michigan State, USC. This was the game that started 14.5, 15. It's now 19. It's been all one-way action. Looking at 94% of the overall money USC and 99% of the master money. It's been 17.5 got taken, 18, 18.5. By respectable players too. So yeah, they're all over USC. Ball State, Connecticut, nothing worth noting. Totals well balanced. Michigan, Nebraska. Oh, well, it's like flip of a coin on how the circa call will go this afternoon. I know Scotty was starting to hunt around for national title prices for Nebraska. But yeah, so we're looking at 64% of the money's on Nebraska, 67% of the master money. So he's being supported by the punters. Where are we looking at? Michigan's action was at 2, 1.5, and +2. Some pretty sharp money there on Nebraska. So I guess we'll see what the mood is today at 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern. Purdue, Notre Dame, well balanced. However, it's like 92% of the master money is Purdue. So I guess they're just expecting Notre Dame to continue on their merry way. Get back on the track. Purdue +25, +25.5. It's strong money too. Almost 4 touchdowns. Angry team versus. Ooh, yeah, I watch that one closely. Stanford, Virginia, 16.5, well balanced. Chunk of it is master money that's well balanced as well. South Carolina, Missouri is well balanced. 54% Missouri, 61% master money Missouri. Northern Illinois, Mississippi State is balanced. Fresno State, Hawaii is good volume and balanced. There's nothing really on these totals, so I'm not going into it too much. Some of these games, I will get a chance to come back later in the day and do an update. Because a lot of this rec money that kind of shows us which way we want to go against the general public with the Masters on the other side, it does come in later, so late towards games. Arkansas State, Kennesaw State, nothing of note. Delaware, Florida International, really good volume, really well balanced. Master money too, really. Like, this is one of the bigger bet master games of the day today too. Looking at +5.5, +6 is where a lot of that stuff sits. -5, -4.5. So it's interesting. Nevada, West Kentucky, nothing of note. Well balanced. Boise State, 77%, 81% of the master money. Looking at 76% Middle Tennessee State over Marshall and 84% of the master money. It is at 3 and 3.5, so that's why that thing's at 2.5. Pretty strong right now. Louisiana Tech, looking at 62%, well balanced master. Washington State, it's all Washington, but there's really no volume on this game. Washington State are friendless. What else we got? Georgia State, no, nothing there. Sam Houston, Texas, nothing there, but 80% of the master money is on Sam Houston. That is at +40.5. We've got a 39 there and a half right now, so that's interesting. UNL, Monroe, and UTEP, well balanced. 68% of the master money is on UTEP, and that is at 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5.5, and 6, and that's sitting around 6 right now. And then California, San Diego State, we've got Cal, 67%, 94% of the master money. And that's all at like 11.5, 12, 13, nothing at the current number. Just scroll through, see if there's anything else here. First halves. There's decent money on the first halves. One. Clemson, Syracuse, looking at 67% Clemson, yet 81% master money is Syracuse. So, has that game started? Might have. Pre-game, like +10, +10.5 got hit hard. Maybe it's not started yet. But there you go. There's a play. Syracuse +10, 10.5. You can get it first half. Maryland's got good money. Texas Tech. So many games today. All right, that looks about it for right now. Up here in Michigan, got an open house today for our Clementina's house. We're on the news yesterday. My wife's selling this thing, getting people in. So I've got some work to do between 1 and 4, and then I'll circle back and do some updates. And yeah, good luck to all. Big day of games, big slate of games. Go hard, win big. Cheers.